Hello, my name is Blake Rhea, and this is Spiritual Successor, and I am a gaming addict. AJ, remember when I said I was too tired to record Let's Plays last night?
Yeah, literally, you told me, hey, you said explicitly, AJ, we can't record. I'm so sorry. I know that we need to record 3 hours of something, but I can't because I'm too tired and too busy with plans. Was this a fucking lie?
This is a lie.
You son of a bitch. You know you've thrown off my whole fucking week, right? You said that yesterday, and my immediate thought was like, okay, well, when can we record? And then I started, like, I had to break out a fucking scheduler. I had to pull out a fucking planner, and now, what do you mean it was a lie? What the fuck you son of a bitch?
It was a lie.
We have to do a super long recording after a weeknight now. I've lost one of my weekday free times. And,
let me explain myself. If it makes you feel any better, if it makes you feel any better, I beat the game. So, a friend of ours, dear friend of ours, he gifted me Frostpunk, and that's a game I've always wanted to play, right? I put in like fucking 20 hours this weekend.
Motherfucker. I saw you on Discord talking about it, and I remember thinking like, oh, that's probably a coincidence.
That's not going to be a problem.
He's probably just thinking about that on the toilet. You son of a...
No. So, okay. This game is all about, like, fucking spreadsheets, and I love spreadsheets.
You know, in a way, I also got to play with spreadsheets because of this, so it was kind of a communal thing.
Yeah. Okay, but AJ, I got to do something. Okay, I know.
Yeah, you got to fuck me.
Okay, but here's the thing: I haven't been able to do like this since like high school, and there was something so special.
Because you're an adult with adult responsibilities. I'm an adult people who depend on you.
Schedules to keep, calendars to update.
God damn. This week is going to suck because of you. And I was fine with it before.
Okay, one. AJ, think about how much joy this brought me. Think about how much childlike, hey, I haven't been able to stay up all night and play a video game since I was like 17. And here I am, a 26-year-old boy who pays taxes, has a 9-to-5 job, fucking makes content on the regular, and I got to just be like, hey, fuck responsibility for a weekend and just enjoy myself, you know, at the cost of potentially my friendship and potentially my career. I think it was worth it for a weekend.
No, I get it, because like it's been a minute since I've lost sleep over a video game, and there is something very, very nice about having a game
just
where
be
you're
so
like,
engrossed by it.
This is going to fuck me up.
Yeah,
like that's a very exciting moment.
Yeah,
I thought Elden Ring was going to be that for me, but I have found it very easy to walk away from Elden Ring.
It's a very sip
like
game.
A couple hours.
Yeah, you're just like, hey, I'm going to take out a boss. Okay, I did something fun. You know, hey, let me fight this mini boss or explore this one location. Bam, walk away from it.
So what is Frostpunk? Tell me about it a little bit.
So Frostpunk, I actually, before I go into Frostpunk, just want to give a proper welcome. Hello, and welcome to Spiritual Successor, a comedy video game design podcast where we take your wonderful, sexy, badass video game ideas from the internet and we turn them into the next AAA titles. I'm one of your hosts that lies on the regular, not really, hopefully, Blake Rhea.
I'm your other host, and I'm a victim of Blake's lies and
on the regular
and general douchebaggery. AJ Hart.
I do want to clarify. So I kind of lied. I did have family things going on yesterday, but it ended at like 8 o'clock, like 7:30, 8 o'clock. Right, that time where it's like, okay,
it ended at the exact moment that you and I originally intended.
Yeah, so like I had the option of being like, okay, am I going to jump into
late at that point? And at that point, you wouldn't want to get in the way of whatever I had going on, and so you had to take care of yourself. I understand.
Hey, and I was also tired.
Don't tell the audience. I would have done the same thing probably.
I was tired enough to play games until 1:30 in the morning. So that's 2 nights in a row I've done that. Actually, no, 3 nights, because I did it. I did it Friday night. I did it Saturday. Holy shit, this weekend was wasted entirely.
That's a good game,
feels,
huh?
feels so good. So Frostpunk is a colony management game where it's like, all right, you're the last city in the world after like an asteroid hit the planet and the world froze over. So it's just, hey, the first scenario is you need to survive like the first season, and then once you prove that you can survive a season in this world, that's the end of that scenario. There's a shit ton of other scenarios I need to play, which I'll be honest, I'm gonna take a break from, because putting in 20 plus hours of one game in one weekend is like, I'm not a young man anymore. I can't handle that.
Rules.
I can't do that. It's so fucking awesome.
It's so good. I remember when Monster Hunter World came out, I put like 36 hours into that the first weekend.
Oh,
That's
my
right, team.
God.
Do you run the math on that? I slept 2 times for 6 hours each. And I just played the game for the rest of that weekend. It was incredible. You and my other roommates were very concerned about my health and well-being. I hadn't been thriving like that in months.
God, there's just something about this game. Actually, no, I can distill it down into why exactly it hooked me so much. One, I am a person that really likes to see instant results on experimentation, where it's like, and this is what's kind of led me towards like us doing art and podcasting and filmmaking, because it's so satisfying to be like, hey, I have an idea. Let me see how that works out. And then that feedback of like, okay, that idea worked out this way. I have these numbers to work with. Let me see how I can refine it and get it to the optimum percentage of proficiency. And there's just something very fun and satisfying about that feedback loop. And that's all this game is. It's like, okay, I can look at this is my coal production for the day. This is my wood production. This is this. There's this.
So is it like a top-down little like Civ guy where you're just putting down little units that make steam, etc.?
Yeah, and then you could just like upgrade like you basically just need to keep your city warm. And there's like keep your city warm and fed, and you just need to collect coal, collect a bunch of other resources, and then it gets way more in depth than that. But by the end of the game, I had like these fucking spreadsheets that would show me like a dot graph of like, oh, this is my production. This is like my production yesterday, but how's my production today? I'm down like by 20%. Why am I down by 20%? It's like, oh, I found out I can like go into my research thing and optimize my engines to be 33% more efficient. That'll put me in the green for the week. And it was just
now,
like,
is this a spreadsheet that you were building on your own on the side, or was this a spreadsheet that was built into the game?
Built into the game. It was It was so cool and so fun to just see that and be like, oh man, can I do it? And then, of course, like numbers and bullshit aside, just the setting is very interesting. I love like snow expedition themed stuff. Very much like H.P. Lovecraft's The Mountains of Madness. The story kind of sucks, but the setting was cool. I mean that can be kind of said about all of his stuff. Very, very good idea, man. Really horrible storyteller. So it's just it was just very engrossing, and I can't wait to play more of it. But I'm tired of talking about games we actually want to play. I want to make some games that you and I want to unleash onto the world that are fucking rancid, because that's what we do.
I've got one.
Oh, you got one?
I've got one. If you would be so kind as to entertain me, I've got one of those.
Okay. I mean, I owe you one. I did kind of ruin your week, so please.
This comes from Dr. Peenor on Twitter, at Dr. Peenor. You were on a cruise ship.
Mm-hmm.
No, wait. I'm going to do this one. An open world game where you play as trains, where you deliver cargo and carry passengers on a British island. Perform your tasks well, or face the wrath of Mr. Conductor.
Mr. Conductor. What is Mr. Conductor's punishment? Do you get broken down and turned into another train? Real one of those that ship analogy.
I love the idea that you get broken down and turned into another train. Here's the thing that I want to get in on is the idea of an MMO that has like a spectral force that the player base knows of that is a threat. You know what I mean? Like in Call of Duty or in Halo, there's always that gimmick about like, oh, you've been killed by the Guardians. You know, some sort of thing where the game's like, look, there's an entity The entity got you.
Yeah, the boundary.
You've been thrown at the wall so hard and fast that you've died. But what if it was a punishment? What if, like, Destiny saw you playing the game and was like, you're not doing good enough, and then just killed you for it?
Okay, hold on. You're onto something here. So taking from because I have brain rot over Frostpunk, I want to make this a game about optimization. And what is I weirdly enough, I love trains. I actually went to a train museum recently, and one of the things they had there is there was this booklet that all train conductors would carry on them, and it would outline, hey, this is when your train needs to be there or needs to be past this crossing. Because if it isn't, you are either going to be extremely late or worse, collide with somebody who's on their own schedule. Because there was a point in time where trains couldn't call each other or talk to each other remotely. So that book was like the only thing they had to go on to figure out how on time they were. So what if we can build a game about a train? This is like a train schedule management simulator. And if you can't fall into the ever increasing lines of like your train needs to move faster and faster and faster and faster, is the conductor's going to come up and fuck your steez. But how do we make the conductor fucking up your steez like a fearable thing?
I think how do we make it? I mean, of course, the immediate go-to is permadeath.
Mm-hmm.
But that feels too easy. What other punishments could the conductor have for you and your train?
Could we do a thing where maybe the conductor decides to scrap your train and inadvertently makes... Because, like, you have X amount of deliveries to do. Either deliveries of people, deliveries of cargo, deliveries of whatever. If one of your train underperforms, maybe they, like, scrap it as a warning to the rest of your train monopoly. So it's like, hey...
I know what it is.
Okay, go ahead.
The conductor, you're doing train A, and train A fucks up, and you miss your deliveries, and so the conductor scraps it. Here's the problem. Those deliveries still need to get done.
Yes.
So you have new trains now, but your new trains need to be better. And not just better because you fucked up so bad last time, but better because you have to make up for the work from last time. Mm-hmm, and so you as the player are going to go into an amount of work debt where because you fucked up and lost one train, your other trains have to make up for it.
So it's kind of like, isn't that like something that happens in like Roller Coaster Tycoon? Like you can take on debt or take on like you can take on loans or something like that.
Yeah,
and then you
probably.
See if you
I've never played a Tycoon game.
So a debt mechanic. So it's like it's a game about constantly.
It's less of a debt mechanic and more of a thing of like you have more work to be done with less things now.
Okay, I like this. Could we do a thing? Because one thing I was telling you about, I'm trying to get in the mindset of this is a game I would fucking hate to play. And at the top of the episode, I mentioned how I like things that are like about instant, like that instant gratification generation bullshit. What if we did a thing where, because like one thing about trains in real life is they take a metric fuck ton of time to make.
They take a lot of time, and you just kind of, once you send it, you just sort of have to wait. Like I've been on a train, they got that bad boy running, and then I just had to wait on that thing for like 14 hours.
Yeah, but it's like so good. But train rides are so much fun, dude. Like I took a 30-hour train ride to come see you, and it was like the coolest 30 hours. I took a
nighttime train ride and it sucked shit. They put me right next to a light and I wasn't able to sleep all night long and I just stayed up tired and upset.
Hey, buddy boy, guess what? You should have done your research and seen the 10 essential things to carry on a train. What's one of them? A sleep mask, because lights tend to stay on. Somebody hasn't traveled on a train.
You just remembered that off the dome, huh? How many more do you remember?
You need medicine. You need clean wipes because most trains don't have showers. You need some snackies. And you need your iPod Nano to listen to some sweet Fallout Boy.
That's an old list, huh?
It was, I've been traveling trains for a long time. So, but one thing I want to say is like, okay, what if our upgrades were always a year out? So it's like you wouldn't see the effects of your upgrades until like a year of in-game time passes. So that's where the charts would come in hand. It's like, okay, this is a game all about projection. So it's like, okay, what am I building to? What's going to be
you have to plan better than the conductor is going to hate you. Because if you planned out and like your plans are starting to come to fruition and you lose a train because you didn't plan good enough, did you plan good enough to account for losing a train? Probably not. The conductor's going to kill 2 of your things now.
Especially if you're in debt, it's like I'm wondering if like this game, the strategy is to load up on debt at the beginning of the game. And then, like, that way you have some resources, but you need to start churning out.
Yeah, scrap like 5 trains immediately so that you are like, okay, I understand that my last 3 trains need to be top-notch level good.
Yeah, but it's going to take like a year for them to get top-notch level good. All right, do we want to make it actual, like, do a little bit of longing where it's this game is excruciatingly real-time?
Are you talking about the idea that you log in one day, you set your trains to run, and then you walk away from the game for 2 weeks?
That's awesome. Okay, so it's like a game you touch on daily, and then you figure out like how'd your trains do yesterday? Oh fuck, the conductor wants a meeting with you, and then depending on how that meeting goes, it's like they might take 1 train, they might take 2, they might scrap them. And then,
this idea of like you don't have any like in-moment control. You line it up, you press send, the game says come back in 122 hours.
What if we did? Oh my god, I have a great idea. So, what if the 2 opposing forces of this? So this, I don't know. This feels like Golden Age train time. So like like 1900s to the 1930s or whatever. So what if we did a thing where the 2 opposing forces is the conductor, who is grilling you about keeping to your schedules, and if they don't, they they take away your train and they assign it to another conductor. So you have less material to work with. But what if there's a mob element too, where it's like, hey, we aren't going to take your trains away, but we're going to take X amount of profit from your trains. So you need to do like these. You need to make enough money to pay
robbers.
off. Yeah, you have like trained robbers. You have this would actually be very fun as a Wild West game, wouldn't it? Just like you got like fancy steam trains. Okay,
let's put a pin in this.
Yes, let's put a pin in it. I'm going to give you a
video
game.
Do you have a video game?
I do.
Yeah, give me one.
Just a heads up, everybody. Because I slept in a little bit, we need to do a short episode.
Yeah, we do.
So I misread this one, and I want to run with how I misread it. So this one comes to us on Reddit. Lord Owen III, make a game based on your favorite album. I read that as make a board game based off of your favorite album. AJ, what is your favorite album? What's my favorite album? And how can we combine them to make a horribly long fucking Kickstart? I want to make the next Gloomhaven. It's a game that everybody, like nobody wants to...
Gloomhaven is the board game that everybody who plays board games wants to play.
Yes. It's also like the board game that a lot of people buy, but nobody plays because it's just so intimidating. So how can we take
games
that?
of Gloomhaven can take up to weeks to complete.
Yes, it's a whole ass RPG. It's so cool. Oh, speaking of which, Frostpunk has a board game, AJ. So maybe next time you're in town, we could play that.
Yeah,
maybe. Dude, as soon as I finished the campaign last night, I did debate on buying a $300 board game, and I was just like, "Hey, my first paycheck's coming up on the 7th. You know, if we're shirking responsibilities, maybe I can really go full back to 17 and just blow my money on useless shit."
To be 17 again, and to have money to just put on dumb shit.
I mean, I didn't have money to put on dumb shit, but that didn't stop me from putting money on dumb shit.
A board game based on my favorite album. Well, let's start thinking. What are we going to classify as my favorite album?
Yes.
Is it something from Kesha? Is it something from Linkin Park? Ooh. Is it perhaps No Doubt's #1 hits from 1990-something, the first album that I remember listening to? Is it perhaps Linkin Park's Meteora, the first album that I purchased?
Oh, okay.
Could it be Kid Quill's 94.7 The Real, an album that I really like because the skits are very fun? What are we qualifying as a favorite album, Blake
just name it off the top of your head. How about I'll give you some time, I'll talk about mine. So obviously, my favorite album of all time is Act 2 by the Proto Men. That's too easy. I think it's like, okay, we're going to make a board game based off of Mega Man. Nah, tough shit. I want to throw a curveball at you and say, because I'm just looking at my vinyls right now, Dance with the Dead, the B-sides, which is like the one where it has like their really famous haunted house sort of vibe. So you mentioned Kesha. Is there a way we can make a Betrayal at House on the Hill, but all of the cast or each member is just the lead singer of all the bands you just named, and it's like they are in some sort of haunted house situation? This is a real
we could, but what if I instead hit you with an album that I recently started re-listening to, because it would be very funny to mix with yours.
Okay, go ahead.
You know what? I'm just gonna go ahead and share this album with you on Discord, and you can read it off.
Oh no, is this like a Planet Booty thing?
No, it's not Planet Booty, but I feel like the reveal is its own gag.
Okay, let me see. I'm waiting.
This is an album that I recently was just like, you know what? It's been a while. I was talking with a friend and remembered this album, and I remembered how good all of the music on it is. Blake, what's the album that I just sent you?
Sonic R original soundtrack.
That's right. The original soundtrack to Sonic Racers. Fuck yes.
Okay, so how would we combine Sonic Racers with Dance with the Dead? Like what? How is that Actually, hold on. Has there ever? No, there had to be. The world of Kickstarter board games is huge and daunting. So there has to be a board game about racing, right? Like there has
to be.
Like, I mean, technically, Life is a racing game because you do sit in cars. So the game of Life has and you're trying to get to the end faster than the other person.
Blake, can I change your favorite album from being a Dance with the Dead album to?
You know, this is a week of inconveniences, so sure, just throw it at me.
Can I make your favorite album a Carpenter Brute album?
You know, that was my second. That was going to be my next guess. Do I have to pick one, or can I pick his ensemble one of Trilogy?
You can pick Trilogy. Here's really what I want to do. I want to take the soundtrack to Sonic R, the original soundtrack, and I want to take Carpenter Brute, functionally the soundtrack to any purple action indie game. Fury, Hotline Miami, etc.
Wave Shaper was right there. Alex was right there. Orax was right there.
Is there any way we can create a board game that has a soundtrack like Sonic R and Hotline Miami, and potentially make a racing Hotline Miami board game?
Could we do? Okay, hold on. This reminds me of something. Okay. I'm gonna throw another flavor into the mix. Remember, Super Hot got a board game for a while.
It did?
Yeah, it got a board game for it. Was more like a card game. It's like I have
a question that's going to sound mean.
What's up?
Are any of these video game board games good, or is there a reason why every time? Hold on. Is there a reason why every time somebody's like, they made a board game of this video game, I'm like, oh, really? Word? Like, there has to be a reason why it's a surprise every single time I hear about it, right?
I think no.
Because if the Bloodborne board game was good, it probably wouldn't be a shock that it exists every time somebody says the sentence. Did you know that there's a Bloodborne board game?
Well, that's the weird thing about board games is that they're still very niche, primarily because they're very expensive, both fiscally and time investment wise.
I'm worried that board games might be a level of niche that is so deep that it's bad, but the people that like it like board games, and there's no getting around it.
Bro, there's
noise metal. The people that like noise metal won't admit when there's bad noise metal. There's noise metal. Check it out.
Weird. Okay, that's weird. But no, board games are fucking huge. Just the last weekend we had this thing called what was it called? Adepticon, which was just a convention completely dedicated to board games and war games. And then we also have, I think, GDC, which is a giant, just a convention that's all about board games.
GDC is just the Game Developers Conference.
Fuck, never mind. I missed.
Yeah, don't slip up like that. I almost went to a couple GDC parties because they're here in San Francisco.
Oh, hey, that's right. That's right. I want to figure this. So board game, fun, big, awesome. So we want to do the reason I brought up Super Hot was because Sonic feels very much like hey, react or your character loses coins or your character gets hurt or your character falls off. Can we do a board game that is all reaction based? So it's like you have all of your Sonic racers, all the classic Sonic characters, Knuckles, Tails, Amy,
everybody gets
Sonic.
a pool noodle. All right, here's how we're doing it. We're combining Hotline Miami and Sonic Racers. You're right. Everybody has their own little character thing. You're allowed to move ahead if you're able to hit one of the other players with a pool noodle, just like in Hotline Miami, how you're just trying to do a hit.
Wait, is that how Hotline Miami works?
Hotline Miami, you're just hurting and killing everybody in a room. Yeah,
you can't. Wait, but you can't move until you hurt and kill somebody.
Well, no, you can't move when you hurt and kill somebody. I guess Super Hot is a better example of you're trying to hurt and kill somebody and move.
Yeah.
So I guess this would be a board game that's more like Super Hot meets Sonic Racers.
Is there a way that we can do a chain reaction thing? Like, one thing, a friend of ours,
we're getting dangerously close to having to do real game design, huh?
Okay. No, okay, let's just keep broad strokes. Keep her broad strokes. Our friend, she's always posting about Sonic Racers stuff. She's always streaming it. And I'm trying to remember, what is the shit she's always talking about? And it's the stunts, dude. Like, the stunt chaining. Can we do a racing game of, like, okay,
Blake, I'm so sorry you're mixing up Sonic Racers with Sonic Air Ride, and I will not allow that.
Oh, fuck, I am, aren't I? Man, I'm fake Sonic fan. All right, fuck it, same game. They're the same thing. So
they're super not, and if you think they are for even a minute, can you do me a favor and play the song that I just sent you?
I'll play it when I'm not on mic. I'll play it when, like, the audience can't hear and we can't get copyright stroke. Again.
Hey, Blake, I'm going to let you in on a little secret. There's no way Sega gives a fuck if we started playing Supersonic Racing right now. There's no way they give a shit.
I don't know, man. They're on, who knows, the next game, the next live-action Sonic movie might be a racing movie. They might just try and pull a Speed Racer and make that work. And then, who knows? People will watch it.
It could work.
It could work, actually. It'd be pretty fun. So what I'm thinking is, this is going to be a deep cut. If you don't know the board games I was talking about a second ago, you're not going to know this one. Did you know Kenny, Kenny G has a board game?
Blake, I'm going to do you one up. I don't know who Kenny G is.
Famous saxophoner, Kenny G? He made.
See, this is exactly what I'm talking about. I think that board games are too deep, and I don't think that people are capable of even saying and admitting that a board game is bad.
I mean, this board game was bad. This board game's fucking terrible. The basic premise of the game is that you are Kenny G going on tour, and you are constantly you're drawing from a deck of cards that is just. Are just chains of, like, sax solos. So it'll be like Fetty Wap, doo doo bop, boop, dee beep, dee bop, boop. And each one of those little things is its own card. And you're just trying to chain together dumb saxophone things to solve Kenny G's, like, day-to-day problems of the Wi-Fi goes out. Your instruments got left in the previous town. Or
how does the music solve the problems? Is he some sort of genie that is able to make music notes do his bidding?
Hey, yeah, hey, Kenny G, you have a bill that needs to be paid. Well, guess I got no money, but let me give you this sweet sax solo. It's the stupidest game. It's so fucking stupid. But can we do a thing where we draw from a deck of cards, and those are the different stunts that you can pull, and each round, whoever can chain the coolest amount of stunts, and there will be think of this more like poker, where there are certain chains of stunts that are always going to net you more points. If you do 5 of the same stunt, or 4 of the same stunt, whatever amount, that's going to net you a certain amount of points. But then you can do a thing where it's like a royal flush, where it's like, hey, out of my 5 cards, I'm doing 5 completely different stunts.
Okay, and what are we counting as stunts? Is this stuff that, like, I draw the card, and are they all Sonic themed? Like, I draw a card, and there's like, I drew 2 somersaults, 1 backflip, and 1
tail hover.
handstand.
Yeah,
and then
like
if
tail
I'm
hover.
if I, AJ Hart, am capable of doing 2 somersaults, 1 backflip, and
You
a
get X amount of
headstand,
points. That hand is worth.
I get X amount of points and get to move forward.
Yes, and you get to move forward. Like for every 10 points you score in your combos, that equates to 1 space on the board. And you're trying to move. You're trying to do better stunts than everybody else at the table. But here's where some of the sauce comes in. So 2 things. 1, there are health cards that you can do, or like there are bonuses cards that you can get, where it's like, hey, I lay down I do 2 stunts and then I lay down a chili dog or a coin box or something that allows you to do an extra stunt in the next round. So it's like you got to do a little strategy. So I'm going to take a hit now, but hopefully my next hand's going to be really good and I can do a extra stunt that'll hopefully jet me in front of the rest of the people.
I know I can do 4 backflips in a row. I know that I can draw a 4th backflip card.
Yes. Yes. But
I love it. A board game that's actually going to make people have to step away from the board game. And also need ample space to do backflips and somersaults.
All right, AJ, what's our nug? What are we doing? What are we making? What are we making?
We've only
this week?
gotten 2 games out here. Do you want to try to give a 3rd one?
I can't because I need to leave for work in 8 minutes.
Shoot. Well, I guess it's either Sonic the Hedgehog Stunts board game or what the fuck was the first one?
We did the train conductor thing. Which one do you think is like more of a game that shouldn't be played? I think it's the train one. Because we
I
are
don't
trying
think that we should create a board game where we're trying to convince people to do backflips. That feels like a lawsuit waiting to happen.
Oh, well, is this a game trying to convince kids that backflips are cool? Hey, do them?
Well,
Actually,
people already know that. Also,
hold on.
Absolutely not, Blake Ray. It's a board game made by a niche developer. Are you kidding me? Only 20-somethings will hear about this game.
Hold on. Yeah, you're right. Only 20-somethings with fucking money, because kids don't buy board games.
Only 20-somethings that love Sonic the Hedgehog will hear about this game.
What if you included on the back of every card that actually gave you a diagram of how to do that stunt in real life? So then you just like have people.
Oh, so whenever you draw the card, it has like real advice on how to do the backflip. That way
real
the player
advice
is given
it doesn't affect the game. It doesn't affect the game at all. Think of it as a suggestion. You know, it's like if somebody can look at that and be like, "Oh, so that is how you do like a backwards somersault." But there's also ones that are so simple that they can do them. Like, "Hey, this is how to do a cartwheel," and then you're gonna get some fuckers being like, "Oh, look, guys, a cartwheel. Who doesn't know how to do a cartwheel?" That do the cartwheel. They draw another one. It's like, oh, this is how you do a backflip. That person that just had that added confidence of the cartwheels, like, maybe I am gonna do a backflip. Bam! They eat shit. Ooh, we win.
Okay, here's what it is then. Mechanically in the game, you don't need to do the stunts.
No, you don't need to.
However, every card at the bottom of the card will have advice on how to actually do the backflip.
Yes.
If you do manage to do the stunt, you will get a bonus in game for performing this stunt.
Fuck! If you can do the stunt,
we incentivize the players to do stupid and dangerous things without ever telling them that it is needed to win.
I like this because this is something. You know what? I like this game because it does something you and I do not do at all, and that's subtlety. Where it's like, hey.
And somersaults.
Yeah. Or it's like, oh, that cool Jackie Chan move where you're on your back and then you have to like pop up. I think it's called you know the one I'm talking about, right? Where he like kicks his feet into the air.
Martial arts do.
Yeah, I feel like Jackie Chan's like the one who's famous for that, right?
Well, that's just because he was able to do it while holding all sorts of things like chickens and ladders and being handcuffed while doing it.
God, what a cool guy. What a cool actor. All right, so and then maybe in really small print on the bottom of every card, it's just like a whole ass like you have to take a what's it called, a magnifying glass to see it, and it's just like it's just the whole like terms and conditions of like, hey, we're not liable for this, just don't. It's there.
And
it's
I love
here.
this
It's
because
legible.
this is only going to be sold to the people that would want to try it. Again, only 20-something-year-olds with access to money and Sonic the Hedgehog paraphernalia.
Is this a game that people would play while intoxicated? Probably, right?
Yes.
Because they're shouting at each other. It's Sonic Poker. Sonic R.
I love this.
The board is this is just
Sonic R,
the board game. All right.
And the R this time does not stand for racers. It does stand for radical. However, every single box will come with a copy of Sonic R, the original soundtrack.
All right. That's a game. Let's go to patch notes, man.
Let's go to patch notes.
Hey, everybody, and welcome to Patch Notes. We just wanted to plug really quick. This Friday is our Patreon game night. We are going to be playing Left 4 Dead if our internet holds up. If you are totally interested in hanging out...
Left 4 Dead 2, specifically the sequel to Left 4 Dead. Left 4 Dead 2, the sequel to Left 4 Dead.
Thank you. If you're interested in joining and hanging out and being on voice chat with us while we all hang out and play Left 4 Dead Versus, check us out on Patreon. It's $2 a month. That's $2. That's two $1 candies. That's totally doable. If not,
that's 2 burritos from Taco Bell.
Oh, you're right. Or it's like 2 chicken tacos from Del Taco. All right. Hey, maybe don't go to the Patreon. Just go to Del Taco.
It's half of a 2-for-4 menu item deal from the breakfast places at Burger King and McDonald's.
And if not, thank you. And if you can't, don't worry about it. Thank you so much for listening. We appreciate you every week for hanging out with us two goobers. And we'll see you next time.
As always, the intro and outro music is Cheap Shot by Anamanaguchi, an excellent song from an excellent band for an excellent game. I have been one of your hosts, AJ Hart.
And I have been your other host, Blake Rea. I don't have as many syllables as you do.
No, you really don't. I like that you went for it, though. This has been Spiritual Successor, and these are cool games
that should not be made.